Hey y'all, it's Morgan Shubert. Me and my husband Luke moved to Lynch last November and joined the ministry. I work at Lamp House Coffee and Luke's across the road in the wood shop. And we absolutely love it. We love the community and we really love the beautiful mountains. They're just so pretty right now with all the colors, and then in the winter they have the snow all over them and it's just beautiful, and we've just really enjoyed it. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. I had a friend a couple weeks ago challenge me to go throughout the Bible and find everywhere that God mentions the mountains and find the significance of it. So today we're going to look at the first part of Scripture that mentions the mountains. The first verse of Scripture that talks about the mountains is Genesis 7:19. It says, "Then the waters surged even higher on the earth, and all the high mountains under the whole sky were covered." This verse is in the scripture about Noah and the flood. And so just go outside and look at the mountains around you and think about them being covered with water. And the mountains around us in Kentucky aren't anything like the mountains in other countries, like Mount Everest. It's the highest peak in the world at an elevation of 29,032 feet. Only 67% of climbers reach the summit, and these are people that have been training their whole life to climb the mountain. And so I was thinking about this, and it brought me back to Genesis 1, where God created the heavens and the earth and made dry land appear. God not only covered those mountains with water, He created those mountains. We have such a big God. And even though we have such a big God, I was looking in the scriptures again at how God remembered Noah and his family. And God remembers us too. God made the mountains, and He also made me. This took me back to how personal God is. Our God is a personal God. Psalm 139 talks about how God created me, He knows me, and He is always with me. That's a really good psalm to go back to. I encourage you to go look at Psalm 139. And so something that God's been teaching me lately is that I need to be able to connect with God. Not everybody connects with God the same way. You have to find a way that you connect with God that helps grow your relationship with Him. So the first thing's talking with God. You can pray without using big words. You can talk to God like He's right there in front of you, because He knows your heart and He is here and He can hear you. And so you don't have to hide anything from Him. Talk to Him just like you would a friend. You can also write to God. Sometimes that's easier for me if I can't think of what to say. I just start writing about my day and telling Him about what's on my mind. So number 2 is reading or listening to His Word. It's so important to be in the Word because that's how God talks to us a lot of times. I like to use the NIV, but you find a version that's good for you, that you enjoy. And listening to the Bible is good too. I'm going to post a link in the comments for the apps that I mentioned, but the Bible app's really helpful in listening to the Word, or even just looking through different versions to see what you like. And you can also do a Bible study. You can get commentaries or different books. Ask your pastor or a trusted Christian friend about a book that you could use to get deeper into the Word. The third thing's singing or playing music. I'm not a great singer, but I really enjoy turning on the Christian radio stations or Christian music and singing along, or just singing while I'm doing my chores, and it's a really good way to connect with God. Another thing is memorizing scripture. I'll put my app that I like to use down in the comments, but it's really been helpful for me when I get in the dark times of life and I can't think of good things. It helps me to rely on that scripture that I've memorized so I can remember God's promises. And the fifth thing is creating art, like drawing, painting, lettering, or writing. You can write scripture in pretty ways. I've been practicing calligraphy, and it's a really fun way to memorize scripture too, by writing it. And just making any kind of art. And these aren't the only ways to connect with God. Find your way. Today I have 2 challenges for y'all. And the first one is to find the way that you connect with God. Try out some different things and see what really just makes you feel like you're connecting with Him. It's made such a difference in my life to be able to connect with God in a way that's personal to me. And the second thing is, if you don't know where to get started, start with the mountain challenge like I'm doing. Go throughout the scripture and find the different places that mountains are mentioned and find the significance in it. And the way that I'm doing that is I'm getting on the Bible app and searching mountain and then filtering it for Genesis, so I know that I pick up each verse, and then you go on to the next books and so on. And so I just encourage you and challenge you to just find a way to connect with God and study the Word, and it will just fill you like you've never been filled before. Thank y'all for listening.